Jai Shri Ram. Let's bring our attention on Please meditate. Ask Lakshmi to come into our hearts. Shri Mataji, you are the Adi Shakti. You are our mother. Our mother is Adi Shakti. Now we are getting into a session called Introspection. This section is going to help us to be critical towards ourselves. The more critical towards ourselves, the better it is for us to grow. So, the introspection and special session మనల్ని మనం ఎంత బాగా విమర్శించుకొని మన తప్పుల్ని మనమే చూసుకుంటూ సహజంగా ఎలా గ్రో అవ్వాలనే సెషన్ అండి. ఈ సెషన్లో మనల్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ చాలా క్రిటికల్గా వేసుకుంటాం. లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ దిస్ సెషన్.
Jai Shri Mataji. Jai Shri Mataji. We just had lunch, but this session is not exactly a session, but it is a game. So this is a question answer game, and how we are playing this is we'll put up questions to you, and then we'll ask you the answer for the answer. Yes, if you feel it is yes, you have to just answer for yes. No for no. It's like that. Okay? So first,
Jai Shri Mataji, all the Sahaja Yogies who are downstairs, please come up quickly. The session is started. We were all supposed to follow the Lakshmi principle of being in time, and I think we failed in the very first step. So let's not again repeat this. Let's all come back quickly. Can some Yuva Shakti go and tell all the others, all the Sahaja Yogis to please come upstairs? One of the Yuva Shakti.
this is very critical game.
Yeah, and also I hope all the Sahaja Yogis sitting here have made some of the other donations in the donation box. This is the first step towards our Lakshmi Tattva. We have to be generous. We have to be very, very generous. So whatever may be a small donation, may be a bigger one, it is for our own selfish reason of having to clear Nabhi. So let's clear our own Nabhi chakra. Okay, so let's all be generous enough and go and put something in the donation box. Let's not go away without doing anything like that. Okay, let's not just walk out without putting a donation. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, sir.
The first question will ask. Who are sleepy? For yes. Who are sleepy? Yes, now no one is sleepy after lunch.
Grammar.
It is slowly going. Okay, because it is now Lakshmi seminar, so this question is like this. Are we satisfied with our lunch? Yes. I want hands up.
Yes.
Ritual level.
Fully satisfied.
Okay, so everyone is on lunch. Yes. Okay, next one is like this. क्या मैं झूठ बोलता हूँ? Do I lie? We are in front of Shrimati ji now.
Sometimes.
Do I lie?
Sometimes.
Yes, yes.
Yogini का all perfect, no answer.
Okay, let yogis close their eyes.
So Yogini का all perfect.
Please close our eyes.
Telugu. Translate in Telugu also.
Telugu kuda.
మనం అబద్ధం చెప్తాము.
Okay, next question is like this. क्या मैं ईर्ष्या करती हूँ? Am I jealous of anything? नाकू jealousy ఉందా?
करता हूँ.
Who is answering? From this side for yes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. Yogini side for yes. Okay, fine.
क्या मैं दूसरी सहयोगियों में दोष देखता हूँ?
Yes. Pardon.
Find mistakes in other sides.
We have to.
Anna.
Except wife was my question only.
Anna. No, munget no.
Okay, now you can now it is fine.
Jeshwarji, I request all the Sahajogis to move front. Please move front. सामने आ जाइए थोड़ा आगे आइए.
This is Anna.
Okay, can we have silence? Okay, the next question.
क्या मैं अपने को सुधारने के बजाय दूसरों में सुधार लाने में लगी रहती हूँ?
The question is for correcting my own self. I don't look into myself but correct others. Do I do it? Who say for yes?
ఎవరికి తెలుసు అంటే
मेरे सहयोगी ने करेक्ट చేసుకోవడానికి కరెక్ట్ అవ్వాలని
నన్ను నేను కరెక్ట్ చేసుకోకుండా నాలో తప్పులు పెట్టుకుని ఎదుటి వాళ్ళని కరెక్ట్ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేస్తామా?
for yes. Okay, next one. Next.
हम लोग इतना इस बोले तो प्राइस है
Prize will be given by Shimataji at the end.
Bhaiya, it's the Lakshmi seminar, right? It's Lakshmi seminar, so we take back only vibrations. Yes, it's Lakshmi Tattva seminar, right? So vibrations are against. Next.
क्या मेरे अंदर लालच है?
Do I?
Am I greedy?
Am I greedy?
पर all the
We are already very introspective.
I am very greedy for
Greedy for vibrations?
నేను స్వార్థరహితంగా ఉంటాను.
this question.
क्या मैं कपड़ों मेकअप ज्वेलरी पर चिप ज्यादा लगाती हूँ? అన్నిటికన్నా ఎక్కువగా బట్టలు కొనడానికి జ్యువెలరీ కొనడానికి టైం ఎక్కువ స్పెండ్ చేస్తానా? ఆడవాళ్ళు తప్పకుండా
అది షెడ్
Okay, the next question. Do I dominate my husband? For Yogini, నేను నా husband ని dominate చేస్తాను. For yes, how many are for yes? Give me the answer.
రాజన్న కెమెరాలో ఉండు.
That was for ladies, yogis, now for yogis. How many yogis feel dominated?
Yogis also feel dominated.
అంటే కానీ
Okay, this is a serious one. Do I have a Sahaj perspective in anything, everything I do? Means, have I made Sahaj aspect of my life? Means everything. Everything. Majority wise.
Yes.
Yes or no?
మనం చేసే ప్రతి పనిలో సహజయోగానికి రిలేటెడ్ గా ఆలోచిస్తామా?
సహజంగా ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్.
Okay, so good answer.
మీరు
Do I listen to Sri Mataji's speeches?
చాలా
రోజు శ్రీ మాతాజీ స్పీచెస్ మనం వింటున్నామా లేదా?
చాలా
Do I manifest what Sri Mataji is saying? Do I manifest what Sri Mataji is saying?
చెప్పిన మాటలు మనం గ్రహించుకుంటాం.
Okay, this one also, the next question.
Do I meditate in the morning? మార్నింగ్ అంటే 7 గంటలకు కాదండి, మార్నింగ్ అంటే 4 గంటలకి.
What about meditation?
Or 5 o'clock in the
రాజన్న రాజన్న 4 అంటే అందరూ పడుతుంది.
It's not at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, it is at
4 వరకు చప్ప
4 o'clock.
Who are not getting up in the morning at 4 o'clock?
ఓవరాల్ వీడియో
Who is not getting up?
డోంట్ గెట్ అప్ యు గెట్ అప్ at 5.
Okay.
ఇంగ్లీష్ గో టు
తెలుగు కూడా చెప్పండి.
Do I talk with sarcasm? Sarcasm? Sarcastic way of talking.
వ్యతిరేకంగా వ్యతిరేకంగా వెటకారంగా వెటకారంగా
ఎదుటి వాళ్ళని ఎక్కిరించే విధంగా, వాళ్ళని విమర్శించే విధంగా మాట్లాడుతుంటాము.
Sometimes we create it is so, but it ends up in sarcasm.
క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ లీక్ అయినట్టు.
Okay, this one is interesting. Okay. Am I a complaint and a channel box? Complaint box? Anyone? Okay, okay, I'm okay.
రాజన్ అవునన్నా చెప్పండి. సమర్ 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 చెప్పన్నా చెప్పు.
నేను అందరినీ నిందిస్తూ ఉంటాను. నేను కాదు.
పొరపాటు నిజం ఒప్పుకున్నట్టు.
जिसको पूछ रही हो उसको तेलुगु आता है.
Okay, next question.
Do I attend center on weekly basis?
నేను ప్రతి వారం సెంటర్ అటెండ్ అవుతాను. నేను అవుతాను కదా రైట్.
Do I watch where my attention is all the time?
All the time.
ఇది మంచి క్వశ్చన్. నా చిత్తం ఎక్కడుందనేది ప్రతి నిమిషం చూసుకుంటానా? నా చిత్తం ఎక్కడుందనేది ప్రతి నిమిషం చూసుకుంటానా?
లలిత్ లలిత్ అరే భయ కావాలి.
నన్ను నేను ప్రశ్నించుకుంటానా నా చిత్తం ఇక్కడ ఉంది అని?
This is very again good question.
Is my attention on prasad after aarti?
All of them are easy.
సమజ్ సమ్ వెయిట్
నా అటెన్షన్ ప్రసాదంగా ఉంటుంది. ఆట అయిపోయిన ప్రసాదం
ఉంటుందా? అన్న రాయసాన మొత్తం सब ऐसे बोल रहे.
Next question. Next question. This is the last question.
No, we want.
Give us question classic correctly.
Do I give time for spreading Sahaja? Do I give time for spreading Sahaja?
Okay. So we start with the next session now.
No, one more important question.
Okay, we have a question.
One more. నేను సర్చ్ ప్రోటోకాల్స్ ఓన్లీ సెంటర్లో కలెక్టివ్లో ఉన్నప్పుడే పాటిస్తున్నాను.
ఇంకో ప్రశ్న.
Question.
ఓకే. నేను సర్చ్ ప్రోటోకాల్స్ సెంటర్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు మాత్రమే పాటిస్తారా బయట కూడా పాటిస్తాను? బయట పాటిస్తారా?
Do I follow next protocols only in the collective or even I follow it outside?
ఫర్ ఎస్ రేస్
Follow both the ways. We follow it outside also.
సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇక్కడికి వచ్చినప్పుడు కుక్క వేసుకొని ఆ బయట వెళ్ళాక జీన్స్ ప్యాంట్ వేసుకోవడం అలాంటి చేస్తాను.
All men do that.
Thank you, Keshav. Next session.
मैं जीन्स बंद कर दिया 3 years 3-4 years
Trousers.
only trousers.
Jai Shri Mataji. I think it's an eye-opener to everyone. So probably let us question ourselves every day in the morning and even in the night. So ప్రతిరోజు మనం మార్నింగ్ అండ్ ఈవినింగ్ ఈ క్వశ్చన్స్ మనం వేసుకుంటామండి. అట్లీస్ట్ ఇట్ హెల్ప్స్ us to grow a more deeper in Sahaja Yoga. Let's all bring back our attention and please come to Sahasrara. Please meditate for a few minutes. Shri Mataji, you have given all the access of divine knowledge. Yet we still to grow, to explore the entire knowledge. Please bless us with strength and capacity to invite each and every word of you Bhaiya, go and control the children. I'm very sorry to say this. తల్లిదండ్రులు పిల్లలకి చాలా చాలా నేర్పాల్సిన విషయం ఏంటంటే సెంటర్కి వచ్చినప్పుడు ఎక్కడ బయటకు వెళ్ళడానికి వాళ్ళకి అవకాశం ఇవ్వకండి. It is the respect that we have to give to Shimalaji. We all have to teach our children to be in the center while meditation and in the puja. Please teach the children and not to make any noise when they are in the center especially. I'm so sorry if I hurt anyone. Jai Shimalaji. Now we are going to have a session on importance of Sahaja marriages. So Sahaj marriages are very much important for any boy or girl, and also it is important to the parents to know. There are sub-sessions in this. We are going to have different speeches of Shimalaji. Let's all get into this session. Jai Shimalaji.
See, do it in love. If you do it in love, it's very good. For example, I am lecturing you morning till evening. You are not tired of my lectures. Normally people should be, what's this sermon going on? This lady all the time talking to us. But you do not mind it for one reason. Why? Because you know I love you very much. In the same way, the woman must establish the role that she loves. The man may become little funny, but he'll come round. He'll go a little astray, but he'll come round. But do not judge him in outward dominations. Like you see, if he says this color is not good, all right, whatever you like, I'll put it. Then he himself will say, oh, I think the one you had put was good, I was really foolish. He would say like that. You just agree to them, I mean, I have experimented this in my own life. See, I've done it. See, for example, say my husband doesn't know much of roads, you see. So, supposing we are going somewhere and he said, no, I think this is the way you have to go. I said, all right, you can go ahead and I'll walk with him. But I said, no, but I think it's not the road. I'll have to walk again back, I know for definite. But all right, if you want, I can walk with you. All right, I'm walking. I'm just enjoying. I may have to go this way only. So he says, then he starts wondering, is it true? Is it correct? Then he starts thinking, that is it really? Or maybe because she has instincts, you see, she has intuition, she has so many things. She gets that what you call there's a word in English for that also. You get a hint, suddenly a hint, that hitch, they call it a hitch. You see, they get a hitch, and that comes out to what is it? Hunch. They get a hunch of it, and that's what it is. And once they start understanding that the hunches of the wife is correct, then they follow her in a way. But what is so great in making your husband follow you is wrong. I think there's no need for him to follow. You go this way. What is the need to do all that? We are going the same way. But we must know that somebody is on the left, one is on the right. The left has to be on the left. Supposing the left wheel starts going to the right, we'll have only one wheel left. What are we going to do about it? We are all going on the same way. There are no two ways about it. There are two wheels needed to give it a balance. But we are going on the same way. These people don't realize. They think one wheel has to go on the right, another has to turn to the left. So imagine what will be the condition of such a family. We are going on the same way. Only understanding is needed. That one has to live with the powers of heart, and another has to live with the powers of rationality, of understanding. Now, when it comes to rationality, ultimately it will turn to heart, because it reaches a point when it does not know, you see, then it comes to heart. Once women realize this, that they have this within themselves, but you must nurture your power of heart. But you compete with them in everything, you see. He goes on the horse, why can't I? See, he does this, why can't I? If he can drive, I can drive. You see, wisdom lies in doing things, many things, by avoiding them. You see, for example, I don't drive, so everybody drives me along. I don't type, very good, everybody types for me. But I do some things which nobody can do as well as I can do. Like I can cook very well. So when it comes to cooking, they have to come to me. It's like that. But you don't do everything that the men want to do, or you don't do everything women want to do. For men will be cooking and women will be driving is a wrong thing. Men should know all manly things and women should know all womanly things. They must learn. They must put their heart into it. I mean, women can be equally intelligent. Men can be equally intelligent. Women can go onto the right hand and men can go on the left hand. No doubt about it. But you put imbalance to the whole universe by that. That's the point. It's not that by doing that you are in any way less or more. This idea should go out of your minds, absolutely. That men think that, oh, I am the man who wears the pants. All right, you wear the pants, but we wear the beautiful skirts. All right. That's the way it should be looked after. You see, once this goes away, you see, Sahaja Yoga will work out better. The domination only is felt when there is no love. You see, sometimes you like people to dominate you, isn't it? For example, they say, no, come along, have this food. Must eat, must have this. You like it because somebody cares for you. There's a concern. Somebody loves you, wants you to have this and wants you to do that. You like such a person. You want somebody to do that. You do not want to be left to dogs that do whatever you please. That kind of thing is no good. And once you develop that feeling that, oh, that person cares for me, see, that person loves, then you start also caring for the feelings of that person. You also start to understand. Now again the guilt is working. Now will you please stop feeling guilty about anything? I do not say these things to make you feel guilty, but just to understand that you have to be in a very light mood, This balance has been created long time back. Very long time back. Say even when Radha Krishna existed. Radha was the power and Krishna was the one who was expressing this is the, as you say, the potential and the kinetic. And people only know about Krishna, but Radha was the power. When he had to kill Kamsa, he had to ask Radha to do it. It was she who did everything. She had to dance. And he pressed her feet. He said, now you must be tired. Why did she dance? Because without her dancing, things could not work out. So, it is so interdependent. It is so interdependent. As you cannot have a wick and you cannot have the light. You cannot have these two things separate. If you can understand that, then this balance is completely harmonious. It is between God and His power. Absolutely one. Can't imagine how it is one with God and His power. His power, His desire is the same as God. There's no difference at all. But in human beings, you are disintegrated people. Your desire is different, your thinking is different, your asking is different. Everything is so disintegrated. That's why you cannot understand. That's why marriages are also disintegrated. The complete integration is the intermingling. If the wife has to work, one need not worry. If the man has to work, it doesn't worry. As long as there is complete understanding of integration, of balance within you. Of course, the women are responsible, the grace of the family. She has to be gracious. It doesn't look nice for a woman to behave like a man, because man need not be that gracious as the woman is. He's after all a man, so it's all right. In his behavior, he need not be atrocious, but sometimes if he swears, sometimes doesn't matter. You see, sometimes in a way for a man, but for a woman it does, because she is a gracious thing. But there are some things that man cannot do. Is you see, like taking interest in women. You see, some men are so hot, horrible, and absolutely one can't understand the way they take interest in women. What dresses women wear, sort of thing. All this rat-like behavior is horrible, and this cannot be manly. That means they are such slaves of women. They may call themselves something this and that. As I heard that this Mrs. Kennedy's clothes, her clothes were for sale, and people from Australia were flying out to buy them. Think of these men. What do you call them? I don't know what you call them in English language, but they're just worse than earthworms. I don't know from where they come. So man has to be a man, and man is a person like Rama. You have heard about his life, how he was, you see, how he loved his wife, respected his own chastity. A man who cannot respect his chastity is not a man. He is absolutely an earthworm. So this is what it is. A man has to have a character, he has to have that chivalry in him, he has to have that courage in him, he has to have that protective thing. If thieves come in the house, the man tells the wife, oh, you go and open the door and I'm going to hide. Then, and when the thieves go away, he says, I'm going to dominate. That's not the way. The man has to protect. The man has to look after. That's why it doesn't matter if he is little crude sometimes. It doesn't matter. Because he has to face, we can say he's like a thorn and women are like the flowers. Now in the thorn and flower you would like to be a flower, isn't it? But in a man and woman you would like to be a thorn. So it's wrong. He has to protect, he has to look after the invasions on the family life and other things. On the contrary, they are the ones who allow infiltration by wrong people in the family. It's the men. They bring in horrible women, they bring in horrible people through their domination. Oh, she's my friend, how can you object? But what sort of a friend is she? He has to say, no, I don't like these people to come in the house, they are not right type, they have to get out. It is he who has to say, and the woman has to understand. But if he says it's just out of domination, it is nonsense. So everything has two sides, as you can see clearly. If it is done in love, it's perfect. But if it is done in domination, it's nonsensical. Why dominate? I mean, I don't understand the word domination. When there are two wheels, do they dominate each other? Can they? If one dominates, say one becomes bigger than the other, it will go round and round, won't it? There's no question of domination in this, but it's question of integration and understanding and complete cooperation within themselves, which must permeate into the society, into the family. The marriages which are not helpful to the society are of no use. They are just a waste. Just a waste, you see. We have so many marriages like this. People get married, live well, happily among themselves and finish up. These are the marriages which are going to change the society. With their joy, happiness, make a home where everybody is expected, look after them, do for others. You see, there are many people who think that nobody is doing anything for us. What have you done for others? What have you done? Have you done anything for them? This is once you start deciding and understanding, it would be very good. Normally a woman is, if not brought up properly, can be very, very conceited and can be very selfish and self-centered. Men can be also, but women can be, because, I mean, they are brought up, if they are not brought up properly, I am saying that. They may not like to spend their money on others, they would not like others to come in the house and share this and that. But again, we have to judge it. Is it done in love or not? Like the husband, you see, brings his friends, and they may not like the friends coming in because it means money. You see, they would like to have more ornaments to themselves than to have some friends for their friend. Can be. They can be like that. Some men could be like that also. But both the things are wrong. This should be shared to be understood. And the whole thing is that you must lavish your love on others. Need not spend money for that. Need not. You can just be kind to them, nice to them, and little money too. You see, there's no harm in spending little money for others and expressing your love. You see, we are still very meticulous in our Sahaja Yoga as far as money is concerned, as far as love is concerned. We are very, very cautious. We are so much of fear within us. See? Now, domination should never come in Sahaja Yoga at all. Say, for example, when I am telling you anything, an outsider might think that I am dominating. Because really I am touching very sore points within you, if you see it clearly. It is there. Putting the left side too much, you are all feeling guilty. That's not good. Come now. So, this is also an escape. See, that you start feeling guilty and then you just don't cure yourself. Just don't feel guilty about anything. See, I am just telling you this because I have to tell you. Now, one can feel that this is domination if they do not see the love behind it, the beauty behind it, the compassion behind it. So, never to feel that anybody dominates is the best way. You see, how can you be dominated? You are the spirit. Your ego can be hurt. You are the spirit. It cannot be dominated. But are you the spirit? Are you feeling your spirit? If you are feeling your spirit, you can never be dominated. No one can dominate. But if you feel that way all the time, that you are dominated, you'll become a very, very nervous person. You can be a horrible person. You cannot face people. So it is time that you realize you are a spirit and your husband is also a spirit. Or if you are the husband, you must know the wife is also a spirit. And a mutual respect must grow in that level, because both of you are saints, you are Sahaja Yogis. You must respect each other because you are Sahaja Yogis. Everybody respects you because you are Sahaja Yogis who have not achieved realization. Oh, they are realized souls. You just think when you were not realized, if somebody had told you that he is a realized soul, how you would have felt about that person. You are not conscious of that, but you should be conscious. By that you should not become vain, but you must respect others, those who are real. They are realized souls. They are the children of your mother. When talking to each other, you have to understand that, more so when you are husband and wife. The whole understanding that you had so far of husband and wife must be given up. It is, I think, is a contract, sort of a marriage. In the marriage you see how much he dominates, what are his powers, what are my powers, how much money I get, how much he gets, where is the money kept, what's all that. You see, it will only happen when you do not trust each other. But go on trusting more and more. There should be a competition in loving. There should be competition in trusting, in being honest, in being kind, in being in service. Let there be a competition like that, and then you will achieve results. The competition should be on the other side. Instead of dominating, instead of being afraid, instead of sharing all nonsense. That's another thing which I must point out, which happens to married couple, and which is very, very wrong also. That they both of them take up a role of very miserable people. The les miserables, you see. They sit down, crying, for nothing at all. You see, the whole world is collapsing before them. Now there are some great poets like Lord Byron, maybe, or some horrible people who have written horrible poems like that, and then they will recite those poems. So the sweetest songs are those, and all sorts of nonsense. Not for Sahaja Yogis. You are not to indulge into this kind of a nonsense of sitting down and indulging into this kind of a nonsense and enjoying the miseries of each other. For the present you have no miseries. Whatever has been there is past and finished. Now you are new people with new awareness, with new things. You have no miseries. So forget all those things and try to enjoy each other's company. And if you start doing that, sitting down and enjoying the miseries, you get out of it immediately and say, oh, we are getting into the same play of Lord Byron. I don't want to create Lord Byrons out of Sahaja Yogis anymore. So please remember that don't sit down and discuss and analyze your miseries. You have no miseries of any kind. You are the spirit. You are the source of joy for yourself and for others, and you have no business to sit down and cry and weep. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Why you don't know? You don't know your spirit? Don't you know your spirit? You know. Then why don't you know? You have your vibratory awareness, and still how is it you are saying you don't know? You have to know everything. And it has to be a very positive act to be happy, to be fragrant with joy, and to give joy to others. That has to be with you. Otherwise, everything has no meaning. You see, I try my level best to make every marriage a very pompous thing, a very beautiful thing. But ultimately what I find, two crumpled up people sitting down there, sulking. And then imagine the children who are going to be born. They will think, what? These sulking parents? Oh God, save us from these crying babies. So don't put my all hopes to my complete shattering state by this kind of attitude. Now if you have any questions, ask, so because I don't know how far to say. Close it. Don.
నేను ఫీల్ అయ్యాను, చాలా మంది సేజ్ ఫీల్ అవుతాం. ఒకప్పుడు ఇది సేజ్ మ్యారేజ్ అయ్యేది కాదు, బట్ ఇప్పుడు పీపుల్ ఆర్ స్టార్ట్ రియలైజింగ్ శ్రీ మాతాజీ గారు చెప్పిన మెసేజ్ బాగా దే విల్ ట్రై టు డైజెస్ట్ అండ్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ యాక్సెప్టింగ్ సేజ్ మ్యారేజెస్. మొదటిగా అది చాలా పెద్ద ఇట్స్ బిగ్ విన్ ఫర్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ us. హైదరాబాద్లో చూడండి, ఒకప్పుడు వెరీ ఫ్యూ పీపుల్ యూస్ టు గెట్ సేజ్ మ్యారేజ్. తప్పు కాదు, చేసుకోకపోతే తప్పని కాదు, చేసుకుంటే చాలా మనకి ఇట్స్ బిగ్గెస్ట్ బ్లెస్సింగ్ అనమాట సేజ్ మ్యారేజ్ గురించి. సో మనం సేజ్ మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకుని ఒక వైఫ్ హస్బెండ్ ఎలా ఉండాలి శ్రీమతి గారు చెప్పినట్టు వీఆర్ వీల్స్ ఆఫ్ వెహికల్. ఒక ఎలా అయితే వాహనం ఉంటుందో వాహనానికి రెండు చక్రాలు అంటున్నాము, ఒకడు ఎడమ పక్కన ఉంటే ఒకటి కుడి పక్కన ఉన్నట్టు వాహనానికి రెండు సమానంగా రావాలి. అంతేగాని ఒకటి వేగంగా ఒకటి మెల్లగా నడిస్తే ఇది వాహనం అక్కడికి కాదు. అలా శ్రీ మాతాజీ గారు ఏం చెప్పారంటే ఇద్దరు both of them have to be balanced. दोनों पे ये अच्छे से चलना चाहिए for beautiful Sahaj life going forward. So what has to be actually avoided here is domination. శ్రీ మాతాజీ గారు చెప్పారు we should never try dominating each other. ఉంటాయి people are with different mindsets, వేరే ఆలోచనలు ఉంటాయి. But how do we actually as Sahaj Yogis we should always see that we are a reflection of Sri Mataji. Whatever we are doing for a fellow better half has to be always with all respect. It is with Sri Mataji who has given this blessing to me. So with all love, we'll have to lead a wonderful life. That Rama will have also blessed with wonderful kids who want to be the future of Sahaj Yoga. But this not Sahaj marriage is not about just with the kids, but it is also byproduct of Sahaj Yoga marriages. So, మొత్తం ప్రేమతోని ఆప్యాయతతోని మన నిజ జీవితాన్ని మనం గడుపుతుంటాము. శ్రీ మాతాజీ గారికి ఏం చెప్పారంటే మనం మన స్నేహితులు అనుకుంటూ వస్తుంటారు. Sahaj Yoga ఎవరైతే యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తారో వాడిని షో రెస్పెక్ట్, ఎవరైతే యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయరో ట్రై అవాయిడింగ్. ఎంత క్లోజ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్ అయినా పర్లేదు మనకి, దే బి వెరీ డియర్ టు us, బట్ ఐ థింక్ ఇట్స్ ఆల్వేస్ బెటర్ వి యాక్చువల్లీ forego such friends who are not Sahaj Yogis, and we should always accept Sahaj brothers and sisters coming to our home. This is a really well, not just brothers and sisters, it's all a big family, you know. My intro word, my brothers and sisters, sonta brothers and sisters untaru, uncles aunties untaru. So that is what, because everyone has to see Sahaj Yoga within all of us. మనలో వాళ్ళ రిఫ్లెక్షన్ అనిపిస్తుండాలి. నిజంగా yes, these people are a little different from what other people are. So that is what our Sahaj marriage can give us. And very important things here, Sahaj marriage is చాలా మంది తప్పుగా అప్లై చేస్తున్నారు. I think I should ask for forgiveness for this, but there have been people who have Sahaj Yogies and Yoginis have applied wrongly for Sahaj Yoga marriages. One, maybe I may get a formal Sahaj Yogi or Sahaj Yogi. Your intent is not to get you to decide ఎవరు నాకు వస్తారు, శ్రీ మాతాజీ ఎవరైతే ఇస్తారో ఇట్ ఈస్ ద బిగ్గెస్ట్ బ్లెస్సింగ్ దట్ యూ హావ్ టు యాక్సెప్ట్. శ్రీ మాతాజీ గారు స్వయంగానే అంటారు, నేను ఇది మ్యాండేటరీ కాదు, నేను ఇచ్చాను కదా ఎస్ చెప్పాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. బట్ వెన్ యూ యాక్చువల్లీ కంప్లీట్లీ సరెండర్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ అండ్ అప్లై ఫర్ సహజ్ మ్యారేజ్, సిట్ డౌన్ శ్రీ బిఫోర్ శ్రీ మాతాజీ, నాట్ జస్ట్ మిల్లీస్ అక్రాస్ వరల్డ్ పీపుల్ హావ్ డన్ ఇట్. మాతాజీ ముందు చరణాలు కూర్చుని అమ్మ మీరు ఇచ్చింది నేను యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తాను. ఎవరైనా కలర్, క్యాస్ట్, క్రీడ్, రిలీజన్ ఏది కాదు. యూ షుడ్ నెవర్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ ఆఫ్ దిస్ డిస్క్రిమినేషన్. ఇట్ ఈస్ శ్రీ మాతాజీ హూ ఇస్ గివింగ్ us దిస్ బ్లెస్సింగ్. మనకి స్వయంగా శ్రీ మాతాజీ గారే చూస్ చేయబడిన వాళ్ళని మనం పెళ్లి చేసుకోబోతాం. సో డోంట్ ఈవెన్ గెట్ అవర్ మైండ్ ఇన్ టు ఇట్. మైండ్ ఈస్ రియలీ ఇట్స్ ఓన్లీ ది హార్ట్ యూ షుడ్ ఆల్వేస్ లిసన్ టు ఇట్. శ్రీ మాతాజీ కంప్లీట్ స్టాండర్డ్స్ అప్లై చేసుకోవాలి. అంతేకాని డౌరీ తీసుకోరు, ఇక్కడ ఫారినర్స్ వస్తారు నాకు, that's obviously not a case for you to apply for Sahaj marriages. But given an opportunity with all your senators, please and please and please, as a brother, I always suggest all my yogis, yogi sisters, to apply for it. There are also a couple of other instances what I've covered is Sahaj Yoga lo pellante we can't choose it. It has to be only Shri Mataji మనకి చూస్ చేయాల్సింది. I can be Sahaj Yogi, any other yogini can be Sahaj Yogi. I can go and personally choose someone. There were some cases people have said that we both know each other really well. It can be a case where you may be colleagues, you both have been in good relationship, but later you both have started doing Sahaja Yoga, that's okay. But Sahaja Yogi, it has to be only brother sister relationship. Shri Mataji, whosoever she blesses, has to be only a better half, husband or wife. That's very important. And one more case, Sahaja Yoga, we can keep rejecting. I shouldn't say any person here. We can keep rejecting, we can get matches. In the ratio, so we can keep rejecting, we can get matches. That's really bad, terribly bad. Sahaj Yoga, we should never take chances like this. Because Shivaji deities are always watching us. And anything wrong against her will be severely punished. We should seriously take this. I shouldn't say all this, but I just want, as a brother, I want to also let you know, there is some bad cases. And very important, we should always, as parents, try to encourage our kids to get married in Sahaja Yoga because they will carry the entire Sahaja Yoga forward. Antegani, dowry gani, idi gani, expect cheyadu, please. That's very important. My caste it has to be completely neutral with all Sahaja. We should take this. I think it's a ocean of knowledge, you can talk for hours together, but I want to limit myself now. So, Sahaja Yoga marriage is please, with all your servants, apply before Shrimati. Adishakti Mundal Puja, we can't ask for more. I felt it, at least. Now, marriage, I felt it. Before it was happened, before Shrimati. We can't ask for anything else. So, please request Shrimati to have wonderful, actually, yogis and yogis joining us. Jai Shri Mataji.
Let us all pray to Shri Mataji that she gives the pure desire to all the Yuva Shakti to get married in Sahaja Yoga with the complete blessings of Shri Mataji. Let us pray that all the Yuva Shakti also become very mature in their knowledge, in their ascent in Sahaja Yoga, and have complete understanding of what Sahaja Marriage is and what Shri Mataji wants us to do when we apply for a Sahaja Marriage. Let us pray to Shri Mataji to give the wisdom and to give the discretion to all the Yuva Shakti and all the people who are applying for marriage, that they should completely surrender themselves to Shri Mataji and accept whatever she gives and not interfere in the decision of Shri Mataji. Let us pray to Shri Mataji that we should not commit any mistake from our side. Let us pray to Shri Mataji that all the upcoming Yuva Shakti have a complete understanding and complete maturity of every aspect of Sahaja Marriage, and only then apply for marriage and seek the permission of Shri Mataji before doing anything. Let us not get into any sort of discussions by which we may offend Shri Mataji. Let us not do anything that is not good for our ascent and that does not please our Holy Mother. Shri Mataji, let each one of us be vigilant to what we are doing, how we are behaving, and what we expect from a Sahaja Marriage. Let Let the only expectation be accept. Let the only desire be accept. Let the only intention be at your holy lotus feet, Mother, and nothing else. We'll come to our next topic.
We have to teach ourselves. You know how much damage has been already done by having bad marriages, divorces. We have to teach ourselves. We have to bear up a little bit. We have to educate, re-educate, and improve ourselves. And not to say that I am such and such, what can I do? You have to bring glory to the system of marriages, because it is the system established by God Almighty. It is not established by human beings. It is a wrong idea. It is established by God Almighty to have an auspicious occasion where such an auspicious thing is taken. The sacredness of this is to be maintained and has to be done in such a way it is a very decent relationship. All the culture, all the beauty of gracious living flows through happy marriage life. Not vulgar, not showing, not cheap, but a dignified, enjoyable, cheerful, welcoming, giving companionship. It's a very good day, and all of you should understand the value of Sahaja Yoga marriage. You have to create a model marriage for all the English, for all the Americans, Europeans, and also Indians, because Indians learn from you all these things. If you have model marriages, they will go in for model marriages. So it is important for people who live in England to understand the depth of this occasion and the esteem of what you mean to the whole universe and to the peace of it. Marriage is an auspicious occasion, is the most auspicious occasion in the life of human beings. It is auspicious, that's why it's joy-giving, and the vibrations flow with that auspiciousness all over the world.
The purpose of these marriages is this, that we should have international understanding about human beings, that after coming to Sahaja Yoga, we transcend all the barriers of race, religion, outside religion, and nationality. We have to create this homogeneous world and make it peaceful by removing this disease of national identification or racial identification. We are all created by God Almighty. Our differences are only skin deep. Culturally, we are different, little bit here and there. But basically, in ourselves, we are all spiritual, and the religion that we have is innate, built in within us, which is a part and parcel of us. We have to prove to the world that marriage is a divine institution. And by this divine institution, if you have been put together, it's also a divine plan. And through this divine plan, many things are going to work. So those who are planning today are helping Sahaja Marriage. I've already told you there are many saints who want to be married. And nowadays you see this world full of horrible people. We need so many saints to be born. And so the saints will be born in case you have good married life, happy married life, and enjoyable life.
Marriage is meant to give joy, is meant to give cheerfulness, happiness, and all the blissful things that we can think of achieving through our combination with two human beings, we can say. It's a very close and private relationship which has to be respected. It is not to be in any way dishonored or indiscreetly squandered away. Those who cannot respect their partners in life will never be respected anywhere else. Those who ill treat or in any way try to spoil the image of their partners are harming themselves. Try to understand each other, decorate each other, not correction, but decorating. Like an ornament, when added to a personality, decorates that person. In the same way, try to decorate another person. So the decorum and decency of life comes from this auspicious relationship. That must be maintained. Marriage is the bondage that keeps the society in its own beautiful bondage of Mother's grace. Give up all your old ideas, all your so-called modern methods by which we have ruined our married lives. If you cannot enjoy your own wife or your own husband, there's nothing in this world you can enjoy, because the relationship is the most intimate and very sacred. Now, why marriage is necessary for Sahaja Yogies? First and foremost thing, it is the most normal thing to do, is to marry. God has given you this desire to be married for some purpose. But the same desire, if you do not use it for the purpose it is given, it can become a perversion, can become a nasty thing, it can be very detrimental to your growth.
Out of which one was about to fizzle out. That also is established. In Sahaja Yoga is much better. People understand the importance of life. It's a drama, but also it is tapas. It is a tapasya with which you understand your own powers.
Now, first thing we have to know that this marriage ceremony that we have organized with a purpose. The first purpose is that we regard marriage is very essential for Sahaja. If somebody doesn't want to marry, we say, all right, you get out of Sahaja, we saw that. Now, why marriage is important? Because marriage is like a big yajna, it's like a big tapasya, you can call it, or is a great experience. How to achieve balance, how to become a witness, and how to become the spirit. It's very important. Now at the time of Muhammad Sahib, a big question arose because there were very few ladies, very few men, and many ladies of all age groups. And they didn't know what to do, how to save these girls, because so many men died in the war. So then they asked what to do now at this juncture. I mean, a position when such a catastrophe is there and so many women are there and very few men, then he said, all right, you can marry 4 or 5 wives. And you can marry any age group. Because if you have to live with dharma, means marriage, means collective sanction, not without marriage. So he said, all right, you can even marry 5 times, but you must marry. Without marriage you cannot live. And that is why he was particular that every person should be married and should have no relationship without marriage. It was sin. Instead of that, now Muslims think that it is their right to marry 5%. I mean, when the men are more and women are less. Is that wrong? You have to find out a solution. And at that time, the relationship between even the sisters and brothers, he had to delimit because there was a big problem. So he said, all right, the children born of the same parents cannot marry, but cousins could marry. That time. Now that time is changed. All right. It's not that time. We are not on war. There's nothing happening like that. There's no such problem. So let us develop now our pure relationship of brothers and sisters. With the marriage, you become even a better person. And you develop a better personality.
Jai Shri Mataji. Like Shri Mataji has said, marriage is an important event in all of our lives. But the whole point why we all are in Sahaja Yoga is that we are seeking for something higher. Each one of us are struggling in our own ascent, trying to get the ultimate truth. So when we marry each other in a Sahaja marriage, both the husband and wife have the same goal. So the objective is to help each other grow and become a higher personality, and that all our children and the society that comes after that become much higher than what we are today. So that means how do you live your daily life? How do you become a role model how do you become a role model? So our greatest role model is Mataji. We all love her so much and we earn for her her words. तो हम सब क्यों सहयोग में हैं, ये बहुत ही बड़ा प्रश्न है, बट हम सब श्री माता जी को बहुत चाहते हैं. We love her so much and she is our greatest role model. हम सब उनके तरफ देखते हैं और उनके जैसे बनने की अभिलाषा रखते हैं. And she is the one who has inspired all of us. So we have to, in simple words, we have to become like that to our partners. To show, but not by dominating or by forcing upon each other, but by inspiring, by living a life which is just setting an example. Please forgive me, I cannot express this in Hindi or any other language. I hope some of us can help us do that. But once we know that our purpose is to become a higher being and set an example that applies to our own life, our own self, our own wife, in front of our own kids, that is a very truthful way of looking at things. So automatically things will fall in place and we don't need to talk much on this. It's just that intention to become truthful. That will guide us, and all the protocols which have been discussing in the morning will automatically come to us. And that is the only way we can judge ourselves. How much have we inspired our own wife or our children or people around us.
జై శ్రీ మాతాజీ. ఇందాక స్పీచెస్లో శ్రీ మాతాజీ చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే మ్యారేజ్, వై సహజ మ్యారేజ్ ఎందుకు ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఆర్ మ్యారేజ్ అన్నది ఎందుకు ఇంపార్టెంట్ అంటే ఒక స్పీచ్లో శ్రీ మాతాజీ చెప్పారు, ఒకవేళ మనం మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకోకపోతే దట్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో ధర్మాకి అగైన్స్ట్ అవుతున్నట్టు. సో మ్యారేజ్ అనేది రీసెంట్గా వచ్చింది కాదు, పెళ్ళి అన్నది మనకి ముందు నుంచి ధర్మంలో ఉంది. సో మనం పెళ్లి చేసుకోము అని చెప్పి అనుకుంటే మాత్రం మనం కంప్లీట్ అయినట్టు కాదు, అదొక విషయం. ఇంకొకటి, మ్యారేజ్లో ఒకరిని ఒకరు డామినేట్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉండకుండా వైఫ్ అండ్ హస్బెండ్ ఇద్దరిని ఒకరు అలంకరించుకున్నట్టుగా, నెక్స్ట్ మాతాజీ చెప్పారు ఒకరినొకరు డెకరేట్ చేసుకోవాలి అని. సో ఇద్దరు వెరీ మంచి అండర్స్టాండింగ్లో ఉండి తప్పులు ఎంచకుండా, నువ్వు ఇది తప్పు చేసావు, నువ్వు అది తప్పు చేసావు, అట్లా తప్పులు ఎంచకుండా, డామినేట్ చేయకుండా, ఒకరినొకరు బాగా అర్థం చేసుకుని అండర్స్టాండింగ్తో వెళ్ళి డెకరేట్ చేసుకున్నట్టుగా, అలంకరించుకున్నట్టుగా ఉండి ఆ డిగ్నిటీ, ఆ మర్యాదను మెయింటైన్ చేయమని చెప్పారు శ్రీ మాతాజీ. ఓకే, జై శ్రీ మాతాజీ.
We'll all open our hands and we'll pray to Shri Mataji that we all become ideal partners to each other. Shri Mataji, you have blessed us with the best spouses. Please also teach us, guide us, and help us understand how we can keep each other happy and show the whole world that we are the children of Shri and that we make this world a beautiful place. Shrimataji, please guide each of us, Shrimataji. Let each of us have a very happy, joyful, a very fragrant and an enlightened married life, Mother. Let every person here adore each other and work together towards your goal, Mother, towards spreading Sahaja Yoga across the globe, which is the main reason that we all are married in Sahaja Yoga.
Now today is a very great day of Raksha Bandhan. So I have to tell you something about Raksha Bandhan. Before that, what was the point I was asking?
We were going to talk about the Maryadas and we were going to talk about the differences between the right and the left side supraconscious.
We have to talk about the Maryadas that are to be observed by Sahaja Yogis. One of the things I discovered here in the West, that though we have understood the importance of Muladhara, which is a very important, and that unless and until we re-establish our Muladhara fully, we are not going to have a speedy ascent. Despite all that, still there are lingering things you see around. Like people start choosing their life partners in Sahaja Yoga. That is not allowed. That is not allowed. You are not to spoil your ashrams, your centers, using them for a marriage searching society. You must respect. This point you must respect. If you have to marry, then you can find your life partner outside Sahaja Yoga to begin with. But if you want to marry in Sahaja Yoga, then you should not go on searching people in Sahaja Yoga. It's a very dangerous thing for Sahaja Yoga itself and for you people. That is one thing one should never try to do with Sahaja Yogis. For all practical purposes, you are brothers and sisters, and that's why I always encourage marriages between people who belong to another country or another centers. It's very wrong to do such a thing as to arrange your marriage with a Sahaja Yogi by yourself. It will be dangerous, I don't want to say anything, but it won't turn out to be good because it is anti-God activity. Absolutely anti-God. You are supposed to develop your brahmacharya. You are supposed to develop your muladhara. Instead of that, if you start using a Sahaja Yogini or a Sahaja Yogi for the selection of your married life, it's going to be very, very troublesome. Your muladhara will not settle down. I mean, that's a very back stroke for your development. Because of the background and the kind of conditioning you have had, you people don't understand that it is important to maintain the purity of the centers and of every place. So any such relationship in one city is a very wrong thing. It spoils everyone. To add up to the trouble, it's a habit of people I have heard that they try to tease that you look better together, you are nice together, they tease and enjoy. It's a kind of a very perverted enjoyment of Muladhara. To tease others
you are looking very nice with him and you better marry. It's a kind of a romantic nonsense. Of course, for all the yogis, they have to have a brahmacharya. But even if you can't have brahmacharya, you must have maryada. Not to tease each other and enjoy that kind of a nonsense when the marriage is not settled. Marriage settled is alright. And this kills completely the joy of marriage because there is no curiosity left. And many times I find that absurd relations are established. Some of them are really no good and they will really be detrimental. And some of them never are established. So if they are established, they are wrong. And if they are not established, they are heartbreaking. So all this kind of thing we should not do. We've got experiences of people who married outside and brought wonderful people to Sahaja. If you can do it, you should do it. But if you had to marry Sahaja Yogis, you should not marry them at the cost of destroying the purity and the idealism it has. For your own sake, for your own pleasures, you should not spoil the name of Sahaja Yoga. That is one thing I've seen. So I would say that today, as it is the day of purity between relationship, let us know that you have to treat each other as brothers and sisters. No such play should be followed. Don't allow your mind to drift into this. Because if you allow, then there is no end to it. As it is, you know, it is how hard it is to bring you back to normal.
ఇందులో సహజ్ మ్యారేజెస్ అప్లై చేసేటప్పుడు ఆర్ సహజ్ మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకోవాలి అనుకున్నప్పుడు పాటించాల్సిన నియమాల గురించి చెప్పారు శ్రీమాతజీ. మనము సహజ్ని మ్యారేజ్ కోసం అని చెప్పి సెల్ఫిష్గా వెళ్ళి ఉపయోగించుకోకూడదు. మన కోసం మన పార్ట్నర్ని మనం సహజ్లో చూస్ చేసుకోకూడదు. ఫస్ట్ థింగ్, ఒకవేళ మనం మన పార్ట్నర్ని మనమే చూస్ చేసుకోవాలి అని అనుకుంటే, స్పెషల్లీ ఫర్ యువర్ ఫీలింగ్ ఆర్ వాళ్ళ పేరెంట్స్ గురించి, ఒకవేళ వాళ్ళ పిల్లలకి కానీ లేదా వాళ్ళు కానీ సహజ్లో వాళ్ళని మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకోవాలి అని అనుకుంటే మనం సహజ్ మ్యారేజెస్కి అప్లై చేయాలి. అంతే తప్ప మనం మన సెంటర్స్లో కానీ వేరే సెంటర్స్లో కానీ మ్యారేజెస్ కోసమని అడగడం కానీ అప్రోచ్ అవ్వడం అనేది చాలా పెద్ద నేరం, చాలా తప్పదు. ఒకవేళ సొంతంగా చూసుకోవాలి అని అనుకుంటే బయట చూసుకోవచ్చు, వెళ్ళండి. బయట చూసుకుని చాలా మంది ఉన్నారు ఎవరైతే సహజ్ మ్యారేజ్ కాకుండా నాన్ సహజ్ మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకున్నారు. బయట వాళ్ళని పెళ్లి చేసుకొని తీసుకొచ్చి సహజ్లో కన్వర్ట్ చేసేసి, అంటే వాళ్ళని కూడా మన బిహేవియర్లో ఒకవేళ వాళ్ళు సహజ్లో కంప్లీట్గా యాక్సెప్ట్ చేసుకొని వస్తే అది చాలా మంచి పని. అలా చేయగలిగితే అది చాలా మంచి పని. లేదు అనుకుంటే మాత్రం సహజ్లోనే కావాలి అని అనుకుంటే మాత్రం మనం సహజ్ మ్యారేజెస్కి అప్లై చేయాలి విత్ కంప్లీట్ ట్రస్ట్ ఆన్ శ్రీమాతజీ. శ్రీమాతజీ చెప్తారు ఎవరిని అన్నది వైబ్రేషన్స్తో చెక్ చేసేస్తారు. వాళ్ళని మాత్రం పెళ్లి చేసుకోవాలి. మన సొంతంగా మనం ఎవరిని చూసుకోకూడదు. అది శ్రీమాతజీ చెప్తున్నారు. అది మాత్రం పెద్ద తప్పు అవుతుంది.
Lord, now pray to Sahaj to bless all the Yogies across the globe to understand the most important thing, to have pure relationship, pure brother and sister relationship. We will pray to Sahaj that all the upcoming Yuva Shakti abide by the protocol while applying to Sahaja Marriage and not look out inside the center or not look at any other yogini. Srimati has also told that this is a very big sin. If people are looking for girls or boys in the center and getting married to each other, this is not something the deities or Srimati likes. This never pleases Srimati. So let's ask Srimati that such kind of mistakes don't happen from any of us, from any of the Sahaja Yogis across the globe. Let us completely follow whatever Srimati says and abide by the protocol. And please, Srimati ji, please give the enlightened knowledge and the enlightened attention to all the Yoshakti and the upcoming Yoshakti across the globe, that none of us commit any such mistake ever. Let us all be able to protect the chastity of our Mother Chandra in our marriage. Let us all be able to completely respect Sri Lakshmi.
But the husband has to know that he must respect, otherwise he is a lost case. He is finished. He is good for nothing. First thing is that you must see the woman in the household is respected as a Graha Lakshmi. Then the blessings flow. But in no way he should insult her or be unkind to her and raise his voice or say things to her. But the wife has to be the one who is to be respected. I have so many times said, your wife is dominating, give her 2 slaps on the face, of course, no doubt. She has not to be dominating. She has to remove the dominating forces of others. She is the source of peace. She is the source of joy, and she is the peacemaker.
Be prepared. Make yourself ready. Prepare it. Open your heart. Don't try to find faults with your wife. I mean, some things you don't know, some things you don't know. Doesn't matter. All the time trying to find faults makes you faulty. Don't find faults. If you see somebody doing something wrong, supposing you find that person is trying to do something, alright? You just do it yourself. Or don't tell. Gradually, she will learn from it what is the right way it is. And one should make fun of this woman. For example, I don't know how to make, do any banking, write a check. I am very bad at many things, you see. Can't even open a television, I can't put off even the air conditioner. So many things I just can't do. Doesn't matter. And my husband also equally the same. So we enjoy each other.
And the husband shouldn't find faults with them. In the beginning, they might make mistakes, and encourage. Encourage their qualities, encourage their goodness, encourage their niceness. Also, I have seen some very good ladies who were taking very active life in Sahaja Yoga. After marriage, they are lost. Husbands are also supposed to be Sahaja Yogis, lost. Sometimes they appear, sometimes if I am there, they come, otherwise they are not there. Now in Sahaja Yoga, as you have seen, all of you have problems either of the left or the right. Now, when these marriages will take place, mostly spontaneously, it will happen by the nature's plan itself, that you will marry a person who is a complementary personality to you. Because supposing you are a left-sided person, and if you have a person who has a left side which is very strong,
It will compensate. And that's how you'll make a good marriage. But for that, one thing is very important, that you must share. You must share life, every bit of it, every moment of it. If you do not know how to share life, it's going to be very, very difficult.
As a result of all this misbehavior of men, women become very insecure. And they get insecure. As a result, men suffer and women suffer. A man who neglects his wife and treats like that will consequently get blood cancer.
So any Sahaja who comes to your house or anyone, especially Indian women you find, they will look after the guest very well. And then there is some sort of a thing called jealousy comes out. Indian women will not have anybody else as their husbands but their own. So this doesn't work out. So don't have these funny ideas that she's very friendly, she's looking after other people, this and that. This kind of a nonsense should not be allowed. In Sahaja, we don't have those things. We have become very pure, their eyes are pure. So don't have any doubts about your wives. Same with the wives as well. This will make your life very much more happy.
जैसे श्री माता जी ने बताया, जो पत्नी है she's the Lakshmi in our life, और उनको उसी तरह की आदत देना है that we give to the goddess. And we should not forget that she is also a Sahaja Yogi. तो अगर उनसे कुछ भी गलती हो जाए, उसको हम बहुत ही प्यार से उनको समझाना है और क्षमा भी करना है. We shouldn't complain. Because it is a blessing in our life to get a Lakshmi that is given by Sri Mata Ji. और उसके ऊपर और कुछ बोलने की भी जरूरत नहीं. When she is Sri Mata Ji's gift, we have to have that respect and always remember in our heart. However, we also do mistakes, but the point is we should be sincere and truthful to correct ourselves. Jai Shri Mata Ji.
Jai Shri Mata Ji. Husband qualities గురించి చెప్పారు శ్రీ మాతా జీ గారు. హస్బెండ్స్ అందరూ వైఫ్కి రెస్పెక్ట్ ఇవ్వాలి, డామినేట్ చేసేలా ఉండకూడదు, వాళ్ళని ఇన్సెక్యూర్గా ఫీల్ అవ్వనివ్వకూడదు. ఒకవేళ వాళ్ళని ఇన్సెక్యూరిటీ ఫీల్ చేస్తే అంటే వాళ్ళకి రెస్పెక్ట్ ఇచ్చి వాళ్ళని ఎంకరేజ్ చేయకుండా ఉంటే ఆ ఇన్సెక్యూరిటీతో పాటు ఓన్లీ వైఫ్ ఒకటే కాదు, అది ఎఫెక్ట్ హస్బెండ్ పైన కూడా పడుతుంది. సో అందుకనే వాళ్ళు ఆల్వేస్ ఆ సెక్యూరిటీ అండ్ ఆ స్ట్రెంగ్త్ లాగా బిహేవ్ చేయాలి అండ్ వాళ్ళకి లవ్ అండ్ అఫెక్షన్ ఇవ్వాలి. వాళ్ళల్లో ఏమైనా మిస్టేక్స్ ఉన్నా కానీ, స్టార్టింగ్లో అందరూ మిస్టేక్స్ చేస్తారు, సో ఏమైనా మిస్టేక్స్ ఉన్నా కానీ వాళ్ళని I hope everybody is awake. Okay, let's all now pray to Shamataji to please establish trust in each of us for our spouses. Shamataji, please establish the love, respect, among the spouses of the Let us all pray to Shamataji to bless all our brothers and all the men across the globe, all the yogis, to be completely blessed by Shamataji, so that they can take care of their spouses, they can encourage them to do the work of Shamataji, they can give them the love, respect and the trust. We will all pray that all our brothers will pray that our husbands and all the yogis are blessed, guided and are protected by Shamataji, so that they become the best spouses, they become the ideal spouses. O Mother, please establish the Vishnu and the Lakshmi Tattva in our nabhi chakras, so that we are grounded well to our dharma and our relationships, Mother. We will now listen to the role of a wife, a speech by Shamataji.
Now, I've been already with your fiancés and I talked to them. I praised you a lot. Now, first thing we have to know that this marriage ceremony that we have organized with a purpose. The first purpose is that we regard marriage is very essential for such. If somebody doesn't want to marry, we say, all right, you get out of such. We sorry. Now, why marriage is important? Because marriage is like a big yajna, it's like a big tapasya, you can call it, or is a great experience. How to achieve balance, how to become a witness, and how to become the spirit. It's very important. Now the first and foremost thing we have to know that he is your husband and nobody else is your husband. Nobody is more important than he is. See, men are very easy to be controlled. If you can make them feel they are the most important people for you, then you can manage them very well. But the first, foremost ambition should be, or the idea should be, that I'll make my married life extremely happy. Because if the married life is happy, you will be happy. Now men have a habit of sometimes losing temper, doesn't matter, that's their habit. So you shouldn't immediately become the same type, but you can little bit in a womanly way try to put your sweet device of smiling it or laughing it out or little bit showing somehow. But not to make it serious. It's very important. So, how to handle the men, especially your husbands, is an art. And that art you will achieve gradually when you start seeing. But if you start finding faults with the men, and start saying, you can't do this, you can't do this, you don't know how to drive or how to do this, all these things, then you are finished. You must say you are the best driver. You are the best. That's the way you have to deal with them. But not that you are befooling them, because you say this because you love. And love is the basis between you and him, nothing else. Not money, not what you have got for him or he has brought for you, nothing of that. All these things are not materialistic. They have nothing to do with matter. Love is something which you can express also through matter sometimes by giving some nice presents or nice food or something. But the most important thing is your heart. You should not cheat in any way. You should not be hypocritical, and you should not try to do something that is not pure. So in Sahaja Yoga, the purpose of these marriages is to have you connected internationally, so you all transcend all the barriers of your nationality, barriers of racialism, barriers of caste, barriers of so much of materialism. So you should not compare your husband with anyone. He is your husband. And you shouldn't expect too much from him. He's not given me this, he has not done that for me, he is like this. It's not necessary. You must always think what I have done for him. Also, what's wrong with me. Now some people, especially in the West, is very common, that after marriage they think they have to work out marriage. It's no working out. You see, like they think that as you work out your kitchen, work out your thing, it's not like that. It's spontaneously between the two human beings who are realized souls. It is not that you are working out anything, but spontaneously you are going to enjoy. Spontaneously. Now, if you become extremely critical and try to show you are very brilliant and this, that's not going to work. To be humble, keep quiet. Those who are really intelligent always keep quiet and watch things. But those who are not are bumptious. The more you are in Sahaja Yoga, the more you will be respected by him and by everybody else. Apart from that, there are so many saints who want to be born. Once you have a very happy married life among yourselves, those saints will be born to you, and it will be such a blessing and joy for you. So try to understand, not to boss your husband or try to put him right or do things, and in a very, I've seen some ladies who are extremely tense, very tense type. They can never give joy. They are themselves not in joy. How can they give joy? So the tension should not be there at all of any kind. Be relaxed. You are the other side of Sahaja Yoga, which gives peace, joy, nourishment, and also complete tranquility. In the family, you are responsible for tranquility. Even if husband is angry, children are fighting, if the mother is tranquil, you can control all the situation. So the situation has to be controlled in a way that you make life happy for everyone. Sometimes women feel very angry when I tell them that first feed your children, your husband, and then you eat yourself. Because that is the job of a woman. Like a man should go earn living, do what he wants to do, job and all that. But the woman has to really look after the husband, look after the family, look after everything. Also you'll find our Indian husbands not so good as far as the gardening is concerned, or you can say they don't know how to mend anything like cars or your plumbing, they don't know. So it doesn't matter, take it easy. Gradually they'll pick up and they'll learn and they'll do it. But don't become impatient with them, just make fun of it. See? Just make fun. That's the best way to manage it. And that don't expect too much, that they will do this nicely. Sometimes they cannot clean the utensils properly, they don't know how to do it. So all right, just make fun of it and just enjoy it. Because they have no, you see, in England or America, I've seen anywhere,
They have no servants at all. While we have servants here, so all these boys are spoiled by the servants. So they are absolutely good for nothing as far as these things are concerned. But if you just try to teach them and help them, they will definitely go all out to do it. So the only thing you have to do is to love them with a clear heart and all the time forgive and let them know that she's the only one I have in the whole world, apart from the Holy Mother. Of course, I am not against divorce, but I am not for it. In the sense that I don't like people when they divorce. But when things are impossible and difficult and one has to go in for such a thing, doesn't matter. Sometimes one has to do it. But it should be very rare. One should not think of a divorce at all. People think of divorce in the West mostly because of the laws, because the wife gets the money or the husband gets the money. But in Sahaja Yoga, if you are married, all these things, even if you are divorced, I will not support. Moreover, another thing is that the wives should not take money from the husband and send it to her relations. Never. It's a very, very wrong thing. Is to support your family through the money of their husband. Absolutely not allowed. That should not be done. You should not put the pressure of your family on your husband. You see, there has to be a clear-cut understanding for all of you that you will not take, you must keep your self-respect. Don't ask for anything. If he gives you anything, well and good. But don't ask, don't demand. That means you are not a surgeon. If you are a satisfied soul, why should you ask for it? Or somebody gets something, she has got this, she has, nothing of the kind. You be satisfied. And this is how some girls nag their husbands very much. Most important thing is that you should not talk about your past at all. Because past is finished, now you are Sahaja Yogis, you are all realized souls. So you don't have to say a word about your past. Even if husband starts talking, you just stop. And tell him, we are to live in the present. Don't tell us about your past. I don't know why people think that they will look more attractive if they talk about all the past nonsense they did. Or to say that my mother was so bad, all psychological nonsense. Not to put your parents into jeopardy by saying they are very bad, they are no good, this, that. Just forget the past and live in the present, because in the present resides the reality. And the reality is the ocean of joy. You should not nag him for anything. Supposing he doesn't like some things, you shouldn't do it. Whatever he doesn't like, small things, like I was married in a family which was culturally very different. Very different. And they don't wear flowers. You see, and in India, all the married ladies, I mean down south, I'm saying, in my community, all wear garlands around their buns and things. Is always done. So my husband said, no, better not do it, because, here in our community only the bad women wear that to attract men. Since that day I've never worn it. Doesn't matter. Not important. So also you must understand, now you have to take to the style of life of your husband. He is fond of entertaining, look after that. Women should be entertaining, they should look after her. They should not mind if somebody comes to stay with them or lives with them, or they should not try to show. On the contrary, they should be happy they are able to look after someone who is a Sahaja Yogi. So for the Sahaja Yogis, you must keep always your heart open, your house open. There are so many things which I would like to tell you, but in this short time I have to just say that it is the responsibility of the women to make their marriages happy. Depends on their intelligence and on their dedication to Sahaja Yoga. It's your responsibility. And if you see in a wider sense, the responsibility of making a good society is that of a woman. Even if she has to suffer, she can. She's like this Mother Earth, she can suffer it. She never feels she suffers. She's so great. You are Shaktis. So, as Shaktis, if you have to suffer, you don't mind.
And what you have to feel is that we are responsible for making our Sahaja Yoga society a perfect society. That's our responsibility. All your greed, all your ambitions, everything should be directed towards making a very, very happy married life. I wish all of you a very happy and prosperous married life.
జై శ్రీమాతాజీ. ఈ స్పీచ్లో శ్రీమాతాజీ వైఫ్కి ఉండవలసిన క్వాలిటీస్ గురించి చెప్పారు. యాక్చువల్లీ శక్తిస్ అంటే మనం లేడీస్ మన రోల్ చాలా ఉంటుంది. ఈవెన్ ఫర్ ఎ ఫ్యామిలీ ఆర్ ఫర్ కంప్లీట్ సహజ్ ఫ్యామిలీ, మన ఓన్ ఫ్యామిలీకి అండ్ ఆల్సో కంప్లీట్ సహజ్ ఫ్యామిలీకి మన రోల్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఐ మీన్ టు సే లేడీస్ రోల్. మనం హస్బెండ్స్ని హ్యాండిల్ చేయడం అనేది చాలా ఈజీ. శివాంత చెప్పారు, మనం ఆల్వేస్ వాళ్ళకి ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఇస్తూ ఉంటే ఆటోమేటిక్గా వాళ్ళని హ్యాండిల్ చేసినట్టే. వాళ్ళు చేసే ప్రతి పనిని మనం సపోర్ట్ చేస్తూ వెళ్ళాలి. ఒకవేళ చిన్న చిన్న మిస్టేక్స్ ఏమైనా చేస్తే, హౌస్ హోల్డ్ థింగ్స్లో మనం ఇంట్లో చేయాల్సిన పనిలో వాళ్ళు ఏమైనా చిన్న చిన్నవి చేస్తే వాళ్ళని క్రిటిసైజ్ చేయకుండా మనం కూడా నవ్వేసి వదిలేసి సపోర్ట్ చేస్తూ వెళ్ళాలి. అండ్ మనం ఒకసారి పెళ్లి చేసుకొని వెళ్ళిపోయినాక వాట్ ఎవర్ కల్చర్, హస్బెండ్ ఫ్యామిలీ కల్చర్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో అది కంప్లీట్గా అడాప్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి. దీని గురించి ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ శ్రీమాతాజీ చెప్పారు. శ్రీమాతాజీ కూడా ఆఫ్టర్ మ్యారేజ్ అక్కడికి వెళ్ళినాక లైక్ శ్రీమాతాజీ వాళ్ళ సైడ్ వాళ్ళందరూ తలలో పూలు పెట్టుకునేవాళ్ళు. లైక్ సౌత్ మనం కూడా అందరం తలలో పూలు పెట్టుకుంటాము. బట్ వాళ్ళ హస్బెండ్ వాళ్ళ ఫ్యామిలీ కల్చర్ ప్రకారం వాళ్ళు ఏంటంటే తలలో పూలు పెట్టుకోవడం అనేది చాలా చీప్గా చూస్తారు. లైక్ బ్యాడ్ లేడీస్ పెట్టుకుంటారు అన్న దాంట్లో. సో శ్రీమాతాజీకి ఒకసారి పప్పాజీ చెప్తే శ్రీ స్టాప్ కీపింగ్ ఇట్ అనమాట. అంటే పెట్టుకోవడం మానేశారు. అంటే శ్రీమాతాజీ అంతటి వాళ్ళే అట్లా ఫాలో అవుతున్నప్పుడు ఇది ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్. బట్ ఏ కల్చర్ అయినా మన హస్బెండ్ మన పెళ్ళి అయిపోయినాక హస్బెండ్ ఫ్యామిలీలో కల్చర్ ఏదైతుందో మనం అది ఫాలో అవ్వాలి. ఇంకొకటి అని శ్రీమాతాజీ చెప్పారు. ఇంకొకటి మనం వైఫ్స్ ఎవరు హస్బెండ్ మనీతో వైఫ్ ఫ్యామిలీస్కి సపోర్ట్ చేయాలని చూడకూడదు అని నాకు శ్రీమాతాజీ చెప్పారు. దానివల్ల మన సెల్ఫ్ రెస్పెక్ట్ని మనం కాపాడుకున్నట్టు ఉంటుంది. హస్బెండ్ తనంతటి తన ఇష్టంతో ఇస్తే అది వేరు. బట్ నేను నా ఫ్యామిలీకి ఇవ్వాలి అని చెప్పి నా రిలేటివ్స్కి ఇవ్వాలి అని చెప్పేసి డబ్బులు తీసుకోవడం కరెక్ట్ కాదు. అదొకటి చెప్పారు శ్రీమాతాజీ. ఇంకోటి డివోర్స్ గురించి చెప్పారు శ్రీమాతాజీ. డివోర్స్ అన్నది ఒకవేళ తప్పని పరిస్థితి అంటే చాలా కష్టాలు ఫేస్ అయ్యి ఇంక ఉండలేము అన్న పరిస్థితిలో ఓకే, కానీ ప్రతి చిన్నదానికి డివోర్స్ అనేది ఈవెన్ శ్రీమాతాజీ కూడా ఎంకరేజ్ చేయరు. సహజలో డివోర్స్ అన్నది కరెక్ట్ కాదు, అది కూడా చెప్పారు శ్రీమాతాజీ. ఇంకా ఓన్లీ ఫ్యామిలీని ఒకవేళ మనము ఓన్లీ ఫ్యామిలీని కాపాడమే కాకుండా మన క్వాలిటీస్తో పాటు ఈవెన్ హోల్ సహజ్ ఫ్యామిలీ కూడా టుగెదర్ తీసుకురావడానికి మనం చాలా మెయిన్ రోల్. ఇంకొకటి పిల్లల్ని కానీ ఫ్యామిలీని కానీ చూసుకోవడంలో శ్రీమాతాజీ ఒక విషయం చెప్పారు. ఫస్ట్ పిల్లలకి పెట్టి తర్వాత హస్బెండ్కి పెట్టి తర్వాత మనం మనల్ని తినమని. అంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ మనం మన ఫ్యామిలీకి, హస్బెండ్కి, పిల్లలకి, వాళ్ళకి చాలా ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఇవ్వాలి. వాళ్ళ కంప్లీట్ బాధ్యత మన పైన ఉంది, మనం టేక్ కేర్ చేసుకోవాలి. అది చెప్పారు శ్రీమాతాజీ. థ్యాంక్ యూ. జై శ్రీమాతాజీ. The next topic is Mataji's 7 promises to the brides and bridegrooms which they have to make during the Sahaj Marriage, which is performed in front of Lakshmi. Before we talk about this, can we all just say Om 3 times to put back our attention inside? If we are feeling sleepy or if we are feeling tired, we can just look at Shrimati. Let us say 3 times Om. Let's say 3 times Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shrimati, please forgive me to explain this beautiful binding of round which you have given us. I fall apart in words and language as this is guided by you. So, these vows are given by Shrimati to us to follow in our daily life as Sahaja Yogies. We believe that when we become Sahaja Yogies, even if we have a Sahaj marriage or not a Sahaj marriage, our life is of a Sahaja Yogi. So this vows applies to all of us who are married and who want to be married in Sahaja Yoga or outside Sahaja Yoga, hopefully in Sahaja Yoga. The first round, Shrimati teaches us to say, I remember Sri Adi Shakti Mataji in my heart and tell you that you must keep the chastity that would be necessary for a good Muladhara.
First promise is Sahaj Marriage first promise. మనసులో ఇది అబ్బాయి చెప్పాడు మనసులో శ్రీమాతజీని కలుసుకొని శ్రీమాతజీ నా చాస్టిటీని నా మూలాధారాన్ని ప్రాపర్గా ఉంచమని ప్రే చేసుకుంటాను.
Our benevolence and auspiciousness lies in completely accepting and giving full respect of innocence and forsaking cunningness.
Cunningness ni avani teesesi innocence ni respect, full respect of innocence pettukoni.
The second round Shrimati teaches us to say is, I remember Sri Adi Shakti Mataji in my heart and tell you that the divine aesthetics of married life should be seen in our daily life. Shamataji మనసులో పెట్టుకుని the bride says, Shamataji చెప్పినవి అన్ని మనం పాటిద్దామని ఇది ప్రామిస్ అన్నమాట. All the divine aesthetics Shamataji మనకి ఏమి నేర్పించారో అన్ని మనం మన నార్మల్ లైఫ్లో పాటించాలి.
Our home should be aesthetically decorated like planets and stars that are revolving within the limits of their orbits at specific distance.
మన ఇంటిని మనము చాలా ఎస్థెటిక్గా డెకరేట్ చేసి పెట్టుకోవాలి. ఎలా అంటే సూర్యుడి చుట్టూ అన్ని 9 ప్లానెట్స్ తిరిగినట్టు అంత బ్యూటిఫుల్గా మన ఇంటిని పెట్టుకున్నామని ఇది ఒక ప్రామిస్.
We should do all our work strictly abiding by the dharma.
మనం చేసిన ప్రతి పని విష్ణుమైన ధర్మ అంటే శ్రీమాతజీ మనకు ఇచ్చిన ధర్మాలు ఒకటే ఉండాలి, ఆ ప్రోటోకాల్ ఒకటే ఉండాలి. మనం చేసిన ప్రతి ఒక్క చిన్న పని.
I shall extend all hospitality to Sahaja Yogies and fully associate with you in performing the duties towards dharma.
నేను అందరి సహజ యోగీస్ని మంచిగా ట్రీట్ చేస్తాను. ఇంకా సహజ యోగానికి ఉన్న ధర్మాన్ని ఆయన ఫాలో అవ్వాలనుకుంటే మీతో పాటు నేను కూడా ఆ ధర్మాన్ని ఫాలో అవుతాను.
May we both achieve the blessings of enjoying the collectivity.
మనం ఇద్దరం కలిసి కలెక్టివిటీలో ఉన్న బ్లెస్సింగ్స్ని ఎంజాయ్ చేసుకుందాం టుగెదర్.
Then the third round, the bride says, I remember Shamataji in my heart and tell you that. No, this round is said by the bridegroom. He says, I remember Shri Mataji in my heart and tell you that I will hand over all the money that I earned to you, fully realizing that it has come to me as the reward of your punyas.
ఈ థర్డ్ ప్రామిస్లో బ్రైడ్ గ్రూమ్ అంటే అబ్బాయి శ్రీమాతజీని హార్ట్లో పెట్టుకొని ఈ ప్రామిస్ చేసుకున్నాను అనమాట. దట్ నేను సంపాదించిన ప్రతి ఒక్క రూపాయిని అది శ్రీమాతజీ వల్ల నాకు వచ్చింది అంటే బై ద ప్రేయర్స్ ఆఫ్ ద Lakshmi for the wife. So I will give it to you. నేను ఆ డబ్బంతా సంపాదించినంత నీ చేతిలో పెడతాను అనుకున్నాను.
You should spend that money carefully and only after consulting me, keeping in mind that all the wealth belongs to God.
The bridegroom says, bridegroom అంటున్నాడు, అబ్బాయి అంటున్నాడు, నేను సంపాదించిన ప్రతి ఒక్క రూపాయి నీ చేతిలో పెడతాను, కానీ నువ్వు నన్ను అడగకుండా అది ఎక్కడికి స్పెండ్ చేయొద్దు. ఎందుకంటే మనం సంపాదించిన డబ్బు అంతా శ్రీమాతజీకి, దీన్ని చాలా కేర్ఫుల్గా స్పెండ్ చేసుకోవాలి.
We should spend our wealth, whatever possible, with the feeling that we are receiving God's blessings.
మనము డబ్బులు ఖర్చు పెట్టేటప్పుడు ఒకటే ఆలోచన పెట్టుకోవాలి, ఇది మనం ఖర్చు పెడుతుంది శ్రీమాతజీ బ్లెస్సింగ్స్ కోసం.
There should be no hankering for material objects and becoming completely detached. We should nourish our Mahalakshmi principle.
మనము మెటీరియలిస్టిక్ డిజైర్స్ వెనుక పడకుండా మన అసెంట్ వైపు ఎక్కువగా ఫోకస్ చేసుకోవాలి.
Now the fourth round, the bridegroom says, I remember Shri Adishakti Mataji in my heart and tell you that I will never hurt your feelings and shall forget all the mistakes made by both of us in our past lives.
The bridegroom says that నేను ప్రతి ఒక్క చిన్న మిస్టేక్ని ఫర్గివ్ చేస్తాను. నీ మిస్టేక్స్, నా మిస్టేక్స్, ఇద్దరు మిస్టేక్స్, నా పాస్ట్ లైఫ్లో చేసిన మిస్టేక్స్ అన్నీ ఫర్గివ్ చేసేసి ఈ బ్యూటిఫుల్ రిలేషన్షిప్ మొదలు పెడతాను అనేసి అంటున్నాను.
My love for you would be limitless and so should be yours.
My love, నా ప్రేమ మీకోసము will be without any limits. లిమిట్ లేకుండా ప్రేమ నేను ఇస్తాను. అలానే నీరు కూడా అలానే ఉండాలి. The love should be limitless.
Please do not suppress your feelings and never hesitate to tell me if for reason your mind is in anguish or someone troubles you.
బ్రైడ్రూమ్ అంటున్నారు, ప్రతి ఒక్క ఫీలింగ్ని షేర్ నీ ఫీలింగ్స్ని నేను హర్ట్ చేయను, అలానే నీకున్న ఫీలింగ్స్ని సప్రెస్ చేయకుండా షేర్ చేస్తే అవి టుగెదర్గా మనం వర్కౌట్ చేయాలి.
I shall always stand by you, protect you, and shall never listen to any false complaints against you.
నేను ఎప్పుడు నీ వైపు నుంచుంటాను, అలానే నీ మీద వచ్చిన తప్పు కంప్లైంట్స్ని నేను స్వీకరించను.
Now the bride says to the bridegroom, the fifth round, I remember Shri Adishakti Mataji in my heart and tell you that I shall bring the divine sweetness in your life.
నేను శ్రీమాతజీని హృదయంలో పెట్టి ఇది బ్రైడ్ ప్రామిస్ చేస్తున్నాను, నేను డివైన్ స్వీట్నెస్ని మన లైఫ్లో తీసుకొని వస్తాను.
I shall cook delicious food that can be enjoyed by you.
నేను మంచి ఫుడ్ వండి పెడతాను, which you will enjoy, అంటే మీకు నచ్చినట్టు మంచి ఫుడ్ వండి పెడతాను.
We should eat only the food cooked by Sahaj Yogies.
మనము సహజ యోగీస్ కుక్ చేసిన ఫుడ్ తిందాము.
Please do not force me to meet or be in the company of those who are not good Sahaj Yogis.
ఇది బ్రైడ్ ఉంటుంది, నన్ను నాన్ సహజ యోగీస్ దగ్గర నుంచి ఫుడ్ తినమని ఫోర్స్ చేయొద్దు, అలానే తప్పు వాళ్ళు ఎవరైనా వస్తే వాళ్ళతోటి నేను మాట్లాడకపోతే నన్ను ఫోర్స్ చేయొద్దు.
We should never use between ourselves abusive or bad language and should never shout at each other. You should quietly listen to me and I shall also quietly listen to you.
మనము మన మధ్య తప్పు మాటలు మాట్లాడకుండా, ఎవరిని తప్పుగా ఏమీ అనకుండా, తిట్టుకోకుండా మంచిగా ఉంటాము. సైలెంట్గా ఒకరిని ఒకరు వినిపించుకొని ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం వస్తే దాన్ని సాల్వ్ చేసుకున్నాము.
The sixth round, the bride says, I remember Shri Adishakti Mataji in my heart and tell you that we both should regularly meditate and teach our children and also our friends how to meditate.
నేను శ్రీ మాతాజీని నా హృదయంలో పెట్టి ప్రామిస్ చేస్తున్నాను, బ్రైడ్, దట్ వీ విల్ మెడిటేట్ టుగెదర్. మనం ప్రతిరోజు కూర్చొని మంచిగా ధ్యానం చేసుకుందాము టుగెదర్. అలానే మన పిల్లల్ని కూడా మంచిగా ధ్యానం చేయడం నేర్పిద్దాము. అలానే మనతో కలిసిన ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి మనం సహజయోగం గురించి చెప్పి వాళ్ళని కూడా ధ్యానం నేర్పిద్దాము.
Our life should be that of penance, but we should not complain or unnecessarily tell others about it. And we should be happy in all circumstances.
ఇది మన లైఫ్ ఒక పెనెన్స్ అన్నమాట. ఇక్కడ మనకి ఏ ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చినా ఎవరితో చెప్పుకోకుండా మంచిగా ఉండాలన్నమాట.
Your eyes should be pure and free from lust for women and without greed for anything.
నీ కళ్ళు లస్ట్ లేకుండా, ఏ అమ్మాయిని చూసే డిజైర్ లేకుండా ఉండాలి.
The seventh round, Mataji have told us, the bride says, I remember Shri Adishakti Mataji in my heart and tell you that we should truly understand that Her Holiness Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi has conferred her great blessings on us.
నేను నా హృదయంలో నా మనసులో శ్రీ మాతాజీని తలుచుకొని అంటున్నాను, శ్రీ మాతాజీ నిర్మలా దేవి గారు మనల్ని ఈ మ్యారేజ్తో చాలా పెద్ద బ్లెస్సింగ్ ఇచ్చారు. దానికి తగ్గట్టుగా ఉన్నాము.
And so we should completely surrender and dedicate our hearts to her.
అందుకని మనము
పూర్తిగా సరెండర్ అయ్యి మన హార్ట్స్ మాతాజీకి ఆఫర్ చేసి ప్రతి ఒక్క జీవితం జీవితం.
This dedication should be through complete integration of body, mind and intellect.
ఈ డెడికేషన్ కంప్లీట్ కాన్షియస్నెస్లో మనము చేద్దాం అన్నమాట. మన బాడీ, మన మైండ్, మన హార్ట్ అన్ని యూనిజన్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు ఈ డెడికేషన్తో ఈ ప్రేయర్ చేద్దాం అన్నమాట.
We should be aware how tremendous and unprecedented is self-realization, and everything else in our life is unimportant and of no consequence.
మనమందరం అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి ఏంటంటే ఆత్మసాక్షాత్కారం ఇవ్వడమే అన్నిటికంటే పెద్ద పని. దానికంటే ఎక్కువ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఏ పనికి ఇవ్వలేము.
It is my condition that we should day and night unceasingly enjoy an ever-flowing grace, devote and dedicate ourselves to her, regularly offer puja to her photo with all the protocols, and be extremely humble in her presence.
ఇది నా డిజైర్. మనము లైఫ్ అంతా ప్రతి నిమిషము మాతాజీ పని చేద్దాము. కంప్లీట్లీ డెడికేట్, మొత్తానికి మనము మాతాజీకి డెడికేట్ అవుతాము. అలానే మేము సరెండర్ అవర్ సెల్స్ కంప్లీట్లీ టు మాతాజీ. అలాగే మన ఇంట్లో మనము మాతాజీని చాలా బాగా పెట్టుకొని మనం మాతాజీకి రోజు పూజ చేస్తున్నాము.
Please correct me if you find me failing in this.
దయచేసి నన్ను కరెక్ట్ చేయండి. మాతాజీకి ప్రామిస్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఏదైనా తప్పిపోతే మీరు కరెక్ట్ చేయండి.
Now brides and bridegrooms say together, I shall open the path of moksha, which I have got with the blessing and grace of Her Holiness Shri Mataji.
నేను మోక్షానికి ద్వారం ఓపెన్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఇది మనం శ్రీమాతాజీ బ్లెస్సింగ్స్ ద్వారానే వస్తుంది. మనం ఇద్దరం కలిసి ఇదే పాత్ మీద నడుద్దాము. ఇది ఇద్దరు చేసిన ప్రామిస్.
Also to others I shall achieve in the company of such a great and realized person the well-being of the whole universe. So these are the marriage vows given by Shri Mataji to us. We should remember and follow this without having any question or doubts inside us. Of course, our discretion is very important. If we are not mature enough to become the woman mother sees us to be, the husband should have the courage to correct. And also if the husband is not the way Shri Mataji sees us to be, the wife should have the courage to correct. But it should happen in a way that is full of love, which we receive from Shri Mataji. When Shri Mataji corrects us, we never feel hurt, because the love is so intense, so pure. So first, as couples, I feel we should pray to have that pure love inside our heart, to have that faith, to have that quality of divine discretion by which we can understand each other better. If the wife is not able to handle money and will just spend the money on herself, we should wait and then hand over the money. Likewise, if the husband is not at all doing that, the wife should also tell him to be more generous. I think it's both ways, and discretion is always part of our Sahaj life. So these are the ideal vows which we should follow without any doubt, and hopefully with our prayers we can be that example of Sahaj married couple which Shri Mataji wants us to be for the world, for the universe to follow. Jai Shri Mataji.
अब नाभि चक्र जो है, नाभि चक्र का तत्व है धर्म, धारयति सा धर्म। धर्म ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ आप कर्म कांड करिए, ये करिए, वो करिए, कि इसमें कुछ धर्म नहीं। धर्म है अंदर जागृत करना, जिसे हम कहते हैं कि निर्मल विश्व धर्म। ये विश्व का धर्म जो है वो हमारे अंदर जागृत होना चाहिए, जिससे ये कि कोई झगड़ा धर्म को लेकर पे हो नहीं सकता। ये गलत बात है। पर जब तक ये आपके अंदर जागृति नहीं आती है, तत्व जागृत नहीं होता है, विश्व निर्मल धर्म, तब तक मनुष्य अपने अपने धर्म की बात सोचता है। हालांकि उस धर्म में उसका जन्म हुआ, इतनी बस बात है, ये इत्तेफाक की बात है। बाकी उसका कुछ धर्म से लेना देना नहीं, पर वो इस कदर उसके साथ एकाकारिता प्राप्त करता है, आइडेंटिफाई करता है कि उस पर झगड़े, मार, युद्ध, दुनिया भर की चीजें। अब वो सोचता है कि धर्म जो है ये लोग जो बताते हैं वही करना चाहिए। जबकि किसी ने कहा कि अच्छा चलो तुम 500 नाम लिखो, बैठे लिख रहे नाम। किसी ने कह दिया कि आप 500 मील चल के जाओ, चले हुए। किसी ने कहा कि अब हज में जो हुआ कि हज में जाओ तो क्या फायदा हो। बात यह है कि सिद्ध ये होता है कि ये बाह्य के धर्म करने से धर्म नहीं होता। धर्म अंदर की चीज है, और ये मनुष्य में जब जागृत हो जाती है तो वो एक असल में धार्मिक मनुष्य होता है, बाह्य में नहीं, असल में होता है। वो कोई अधर्मी बात कर ही नहीं सकता। उसके अंदर कोई सी भी अधर्म जो है वो नहीं आता। बिल्कुल जो चीज धार्मिक होगी वही उसे आती, और वो किसी को दुखाता नहीं, तकलीफ नहीं देता, धर्म में जगे हुए। और बढ़ते बढ़ते हम कहते हैं कि वो धर्मातीत हो जाता है। माने ये कि उसी के अंदर जो धर्म है वो ऐसा हो जाता कि वो धर्म के बगैर कुछ कर ही नहीं सकता। जो भी करेगा वो धर्म हो जाता है, जो भी काम करे सो धर्म हो जाता है। उसको कोई चीज पाप पुण्य का विचार करने की जरूरत है, क्योंकि उसके हाथ से कुछ गलत काम हो ही नहीं सकता। तो ये धर्मातीत होना है। So the balancing comes through nabhi, and nabhi looks after you and teaches you how to be. For example, now your left nabhi is Graha Lakshmi. Graha Lakshmi is the deity of the household. But if you are too much outward tired, you are running a mad race. Say early in the morning you get up, read the newspapers, is again Sahaja Yoga again. Not to read newspapers in the morning time. You can read it in the night, but not in the morning, because if you read it in the morning, you get upset. And for this spleen has to pour in more red blood corpuscles, and it becomes mad and crazy. On the contrary, in the morning, talk to your wife, talk to your children, look after your Graha Lakshmi. The wife has to be also Graha Lakshmi, as I told you. Then you have your food properly, sit down and eat properly. But no, just after that, upsetting that nabhi, you jump into your car, taking your breakfast in your hand, eating on the way, honking at people, getting angry with them. The wife is calling, come along, you had no breakfast, nothing doing. You are on your way on a special work. You end up with leukemia, at least, minimum, if not with heart attack. This is the trouble. We go out of the way to trouble our nabhi, not to eat your food fasting. If you want to fast this life, next life you will not have any food. Thank you very much. No food. Fasting, alright. You will have a permanent fasting. What do you say? You don't have to do any fasting. Why do you want to fast? And even if you want to fast, because you want to change the timing or maybe for your health's sake, is alright. But why in the name of God You want to malign him. You have got everything to eat and you don't want to eat. Those who have got food to eat, they don't want to eat. Next life they become poor. And then they blame the rich. But in last life you didn't wanted to fast. So this life you are not given any food because you asked for it. And that is how also the nabhi chakra gets twisted when you fast like mad. There is no need to fast in the name of God. So it is important that we should understand the money is not the way. Money takes us away from dharma. It takes us away from God. It takes us away from reality. It covers our eyes. We don't think that we have to follow a path of righteousness and of virtue. Because we think we are rich, God is going to be afraid of us. We can even purchase him and can manage him by giving some bribes. That's not so. You must face yourself. You have to face yourself. That it's not the money that's going to give you that elation, that higher life. But it is the love of God, the honesty of seeking. Honesty. That is the quality of this chakra, is the Satya. Vishnu is the Satya. He is the Narayana. Narayana means Satya. So there cannot be Satya Narayana, isn't it? Narayana is Satya, then how can there be Satya Narayana? But we have many Satya Narayana pujas. For all these Satya Narayanas, Sahaja Yogis are not supposed to go. They can only go to Narayana puja. Because Satya Narayana means that part which is added to it for camouflaging is meant for these horrible Brahmins who make you pay. For what? So Sahaja Yogis are not allowed to go to Satya Narayana puja. They can have Narayana. And what is Narayana ultimately becomes? In the Nabhi chakra, Narayana existed since he was created by the Devi. And it looks after the seeking, the nourishing of the seeking like a father. And then it incarnates again and again and again to help our seeking to a higher position and a higher position, till it reaches a point where you start seeking God Almighty. Then you jump into the Shakti of Mahalakshmi. Then you are in the hands of Mahalakshmi Shakti. Resides in the central path of Sushumna. And this central path of Sushumna is to be established fully or awakened when the Kundalini rises. When the Kundalini does not rise, this path is kept absolutely blank. It is absolutely blank. There is nothing in it except for the deities who are lying without any light. When the Kundalini rises, then only these deities get awakened. And when they get awakened, this Sushumna path, this central path of Mahalakshmi starts acting as the balancing power to begin with at the Nabhi chakra. So Nabhi chakra is surrounded by 10 gurus, the prophets, who give you the balance, who come on this earth again and again to give you balance in life. They tell you, don't do this, don't do that. But we don't listen to it. We don't accept it. We may say that actually that now your Kundalini should not be anymore in the sacrum bone, but in your stomach, because Ganesha's Kundalini is in the stomach. In the stomach means in the Nabhi chakra. Means all your seeking has been so far in materialism, has been in other things like in money or in power or in love or whatever it was. But now your Kundalini itself is in the Nabhi chakra. Means your seeking is nothing but itself has become the Kundalini. Your seeking has become the Kundalini. Means that you are the giver. Now you are the Guru. You have now become the Guru. When the Kundalini starts from the Nabhi, that means now you are the Guru. Now you have to give all the blessings, everything as a Guru does. Now you all have become Gurus. But that's only possible when the Kundalini has risen, has lifted her abode from the stomach, from the sacrum to the stomach. At this stage, unless and until it has arrived, you are not a confirmed Guru. Once that has happened, you become a Guru. And then you can really impress people and work it out. It has to be done very fast. It has to work out very fast. And for that, first of all, please get rid of your entanglements, which are stupid. If you really believe that you have to progress in your seeking, that you have to have your Kundalini coming up from your Nabhi, then please hurry up. Please try to work out. Otherwise, you are very few who have been given also the privilege of doing my puja. Very few. And those who have been given have a chance to develop to that stage. And once you become that, all of you who have achieved that state can become the Gurus. And for that, you have to have only wisdom. Wisdom. Keep to your wisdom. And like Sri Ganesha has his wisdom, and in that wisdom, he knew one thing, that his mother was all powerful, and that he doesn't have to worship anybody else but his mother. And he has to have all the powers which are granted by her. With these powers, no one has. Even Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha does not have. They cannot.
ఇందులో ఈ స్పీచ్లో శ్రీనాథ్జీ గారు నాభి చక్రం ధర్మం గురించి మాట్లాడారు. నాభి చక్రం అంటేనే ధర్మం. సహజయోగ ధర్మం అంటే విశ్వ నిర్మాణ ధర్మం. సహజయోగ ధర్మం అంటే సహజయోగ వ్యాప్తి. ఈ ధర్మాన్ని మనం పెంపొందించుకోవాలి. అంటే మనం ఒంటరిగా ధ్యానం చేస్తూ అలాగే సామూహికంగా ధ్యానం చేయాలి. ధ్యానం, ధారణ, సమాధి మనం తప్పక సాధించి తీరాలి. ప్రేమ మరియు క్షమాతత్వము ఒక ధార్మిక వ్యక్తి యొక్క లక్షణం. అలాగే మనం ఉదయం లేవగానే న్యూస్ పేపర్ చదువుకుంటాం. న్యూస్ పేపర్ చదవడం వల్ల చాలా నష్టం. న్యూస్ పేపర్ చదవడం వల్ల మనం ఫస్ట్ డిస్టర్బ్ అయ్యి ఆ కోపాన్ని మనం చికాకు పడుతూ మనం వెళ్ళే దారిలో చూపిస్తూ మనం తినే బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ అటెన్షన్ పెడుతూ మన లెఫ్ట్ నాభిని కనిపిస్తుంది. దానికంటే మన పిల్లలతోని మన వైఫ్తోని టైం స్పెండ్ చేయాలి. అంతేగాని పొద్దున్న లేసి న్యూస్ పేపర్ చదివి మనం కూడా పాటు చేస్తూ ఉంటాం. అలాగే దేవుడి పేరిట ఉపవాసాలు లాంటివి చేయకూడదు. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఉపవాసాలు చేస్తే వచ్చే జన్మలో ఆకలితో అలవడిస్తాము, ఆకలితోనే పుడతాము. సో దయచేసి ఈ జన్మలో ఉపవాసాలు లాంటివి చేయండి. అలాగే మీ నాభి చక్కగా ఉండాలి అంటే మనీ గురించి, మనీ యొక్క లావాదేవీలు ఎక్కువగా పెట్టుకోకండి. మీరు సహజీవులకు సహాయం చేయండి, కానీ మనీ విషయంలో, డబ్బు విషయంలో కొంచెం దూరంగా ఉండండి. అలాగే చాలామంది సత్యనారాయణ వ్రతాలని చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. సత్యనారాయణ వ్రతాలకు మన సహజీవులు ఎప్పుడు పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయొద్దు. సత్యం అంటేనే నారాయణ, నారాయణ అంటేనే సత్యం. మనం నారాయణ పూజలు చేయాలి, కానీ సత్యనారాయణ పూజలు చేయొద్దు. అలాగే మన నాభి, మన కుండల్ని ఎప్పుడైతే మన సాక్రం నుండి లేచి మన నాభికి రీచ్ అవుతుంది, నాభిలో ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ అవుతుందో మనం గురుత్వత్వం పెరుగుతుంది. అలాగే మన నాభి చుట్టూ 10 గురువులు ఉంటారు. వాళ్ళు మనకు అవసరం వచ్చినప్పుడు అవతారాలు వెళ్తారు. వాళ్ళు వచ్చి చాలా చెప్పారు, ఇది చేయండి ఇది చేయండి, అయినా మనం వినట్లేదు. మనం వాళ్ళు చెప్పిన తప్పగా పాటించాలి. వాళ్ళని మనం మన నాభి చుట్టూ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేసుకోవాలి. అలాగే పరిపూర్ణత ఆత్మ సాక్షాత్కారం అంటే వేరే ఏది అవసరం లేదు అనే దశ సాధించాలి. ఆ తర్వాత భగవంతుని అనుగ్రహం పొంది ఆనందం మరియు సంతృప్తిని మాత్రమే ఆస్వాదించాలి. మనిషి శాంతి, సంపద, శక్తి మొదలైన వాటిని కోరుకుంటాడు. వాటికి మూల్యం భగవంతుడు. మనం శాంతి కోసం దేవుణ్ణి ప్రార్థించాలి. మనం శాంతి యొక్క దేవుణ్ణి కావాలని కోరికను ఉంచాలి. ఇది మనం ఒక సామాన్య మనిషికి, ఒక సహజయోగికి ఒక సంతృప్తిలో ఉండే తేడా. అలాగే మీరు ఎన్నిసార్లు చదివారు, మీరు సహజం గురించి ఎన్నిసార్లు మాట్లాడారు అనేది కాదు, మీరు ఎన్ని మంత్రాలు పఠించారు అన్నది కాదు. మీ హృదయంలో నా ఆధ్యాత్మిక ఉన్నతి పొందాలనే స్వచ్ఛమైన కోరిక ఉండాలి. ఆ కోరిక మీకు ఎన్నిసార్లు ఉంటే అంత ఎదుగుదల వస్తుంది. ఈ కోరిక ఉంటే చాలు. మీరు మొదటిగా చివరిగా చేసేది ధ్యానం. మీరు ప్రయత్నించిన ధ్యానం చేస్తే మీ నాభి చక్రాన్ని ఏర్పరచుకోవాలి. అప్పుడే మీ యొక్క లక్ష్మీతత్వం పెరుగుతుంది. మీ నాభిలోనే లక్ష్మీతత్వం ఉంది. జై
I think we cannot meditate for a moment while the questions can prepare for Bharati. So meanwhile, let us all just get into meditation and we will thank Shri for blessing us with this seminar, for blessing us with all her love, all her attention. Please forgive us for any mistakes that we might have done knowingly or unknowingly throughout the seminar. Please forgive us, Shrimati. Please give us the guidance and the knowledge to establish the Lakshmi Tattva in our nabhi chakras. Shrimati, this is one chakra which relates to all the 17 directions and which is the most important chakra and the most difficult chakra. So please bless us, Mother, please guide us, and please keep us in your divine attention. We will start with Arati. So we have some names for Arati. I request them to come over here. Lakshmi Rasanam Garu, Sridhar Garu, Ratna, Amruta. అలానే యువశక్తి భయ్య, లలిత్ భయ్య, బాలరాజ్ భయ్య, గణేష్ భయ్య దయచేసి నన్ను రావాల్సిందండి. किस बालक की Let us all slowly open our eyes. Keep both our hands on our heart and thank her from the bottom of our hearts. Shata Shata Koti Pranamas to you, Shrimati Ji. Shata Shata Koti Pranamas.
Jai Shri Mataji. Manandram Shri Mataji ఒకసారి బిగ్గరగా చప్పట్లతోటి చాలా గట్టిగా తర్వాత మాతాజీని ఇలాంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఇంకా చాలా చక్కగా మోర్ అండ్ మోర్ ఇవ్వాలని చెప్పి పెట్టుకున్నాము. చాలా చక్కగా జరిగింది. దీది సైడ్ చాలా మంది బయాస్ యువశక్తి చాలా చక్కగా జరగడం జరిగింది. జోషి గారు ఎవరు మధ్యలో ఉన్నారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్. మంచి చక్కటి ప్రోగ్రామ్ అందించారు మీరు ఇక్కడ. ఇలాంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇంకా మీరు ముందు తీసుకొని వెళ్ళాలి. ఎవ్రీ 2 months ఒకసారి ఇలాంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్ జరిగితే అందరూ సంతృప్తి చెందేటువంటి అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. నెక్స్ట్ ఇలాంటి పబ్లిక్ ప్రోగ్రాంలు కూడా చాలా చక్కగా జరుపుకున్నామని చెప్పి మీ అందరికీ హృదయపూర్వకంగా వెల్కమ్ చెప్తున్నాము. ధన్యవాదాలు. జై శ్రీరామ్. పూజ మహాశివరాత్రి పూజ on 16th, the same day, 16th February 2020, in this premises only, we are performing at 10:30 AM onwards. Thank you. Jai Shri.